Hi, welcome back. Or if you're just joining, my name is Maya, and welcome to my channel, Cranleyplace, where I'm focused on Hermès scarf style, inspiration, and more. Before we get started, let me give a shout out to all the channel members, and special welcome to the knot connoisseurs and elegant insiders. I appreciate your ongoing support. If you haven't seen the membership options, please do check them out. In this video, I'll review a 140 centimeter silk twill GM from Hermès's Spring-Summer 2026 season called Le Pegase d'Hermès by Christian Renonciat. We'll take a look at the artist's background, the design inspiration and visual architecture, and then a collector's focused ranking of available colorways and why. Let's get started. Renonciat is a particularly interesting figure within the Hermès artist roster because his background is not rooted primarily in illustration, but in sculpture, especially large-scale works in wood and metal. That origin is essential to understanding this design. Unlike many Hermès scarf artists who begin with line and ornament, Renonciat approaches form through sculpture, volume, and material presence. His Pegase was originally conceived as a mechanical sculpture, and that sculptural thinking directly carries into this composition of the scarf. What we see here is not just a decorative horse, but a constructed one, something assembled, almost engineered. There's also a strong intellectual lineage behind the design, originally issued in 2011. Hermès explicitly connects this work to Renaissance thinking, and even to Leonardo da Vinci's vision of rebuilding the world through art and engineering. That gives the scarf a very different tone from many equestrian designs. It's not simply about the horse as heritage symbol. It's about the horse as idea, invention, and aspiration. For collectors, this places Le Pegase d'Hermès firmly within the category of intellectual classics, designs that feel timeless, but also conceptually rich. Visually, Le Pegase d'Hermès is composed around a central, highly structured figure, the winged horse. At first glance, the design feels classical, almost like a Renaissance portrait. The Pegasus is poised, balanced, and symmetrical, occupying the space with a quiet authority. But as you look more closely, the construction becomes more complex. The horse is not rendered in a purely naturalistic way. Instead, its form is subtly articulated through layered elements that suggest structure, almost like a fusion of anatomy and mechanism. This is where Renonciat's sculptural background becomes evident. The wings, in particular, are crucial to the composition. They don't simply extend outward, they create a kind of radiating architecture and distributing visual weight across the scarf. On a 140 centimeter shawl, this has a very specific effect. When worn, the design doesn't fragment in the same way as more graphic scarves. Instead, it tends to retain its coherence. Even when partially folded, you might still perceive the overall figure, the wings, the body, the upward movement. This gives the scarf a sense of stability and elegance. There is also a strong verticality to the composition. The Pegasus feels as though it is either about to take flight or is suspended in a moment of ascent. That upward energy is subtle, but it gives the design a sense of lift and openness. Unlike more narrative or densely detailed scarves, this composition relies on clarity and balance. The negative space is just as important as the figure itself. And this is what makes it particularly successful in the 140 centimeter format. Rather than overwhelming the wearer, the design creates a kind of visual calm, a large, harmonious image that wraps the body without becoming chaotic. There are at least 4 confirmed colorways online, although there is a navy one that appeared ever so briefly the other day and has yet to resurface. And that one, in fact, is my top pick, the Bleu Marine, and I'll call it multicolor. I view this as the strongest collector piece and the most complete expression of the design. Intellectual, refined, and quietly striking, in daylight this will have crisp contrast with every detail reading clearly, while indoors it will deepen into rich architectural tones. This one is exceptional and is timeless with conceptual depth. It also does something unique. It turns the design into what feels like a Renaissance engineering drawing. The Pegasus becomes not just an image, but a study, a construction. This one, I believe, will also be the most forgiving one when worn. Next, the Blanc, Brique, and Rouge. Classic, grounded, and quietly powerful. In daylight, the white ground will keep the design crisp and legible, while indoors, the brick and rose will deepen into warm, elegant tones. This also will have high collector appeal because it aligns with core Hermès palette traditions. Timeless, this version also expresses quite well the Renaissance clarity of the design. Next, we have the Jean Paille, Soleil, and Étoupe, the most luminous and refined of the colorways shown online. Warm, radiant, and sophisticated in mood, in daylight this glows, especially the Soleil tones, while indoors it softens into a golden, understated palette. This, too, will have strong collector appeal. It is neutral adjacent, but still distinctive. Elegant, with subtle warmth, this provides a beautiful balance of lightness and tradition. Then we have the Bleu Ciel, Orange Cuit, and Multicolor, the most dynamic interpretation. Fresh, energetic, and slightly more contemporary in mood. In daylight, this has high contrast and will be very readable, while indoors, the orange tones warm the composition. This will have broad collector appeal. It is highly wearable with personality. I view this as a modern classic, perhaps the most versatile for everyday styling. Then we have the Rose Poudre, Fuchsia, and Multicolor, the most expressive and fashion-forward of the colorways shown online. Soft but vibrant in mood. In daylight, those pink tones become luminous, while indoors, the whole palette deepens into a richer, more saturated feel. This one will be more selective. For collectors, it does have a youthful feel, shifting the design toward a more romantic interpretation. Overall, the Pegase d'Hermès represents one of the most refined interpretations of the horse within the Hermès universe. Through Christian Renonciat's sculptural lens, the horse becomes something more than a symbol. It becomes a structure, an idea, a vision of movement and possibility. It's a design that doesn't demand attention, but rewards it. And in this GM format, it achieves something else quite rare, a sense of calm and monumental elegance. So there you have it, more on this design from Hermès's Spring-Summer 2026 collection. Please like and share the video if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think in the comments. In future episodes, I'll share other scarf reviews, inspiration, and more, so be sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified of new videos. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time!